Welcome, Prospect, to this glorious Star Citizen review. I'm going to explain to you the exact moment I decided to purchase Star Citizen, even after hearing all those gruesome horror stories. Just so you know, I'm a space nerd at heart. I pretty much enjoy playing my fair share of space games. I've had Star Citizen on my radar for years now. I mean, I would check out random videos here and there, but nothing really hit that chord with me until one fateful day when I watched a sword stream. He flew his Caterpillar, which is this huge cargo ship, to a place called Tram and Myers to do a little trade run in hopes of getting space rich. This area has no safe zone, so it's basically a high-stress environment, especially when you get your ship loaded up with expensive products you hope to resell later. Blowing up before you get there isn't so bad. Getting blown up after hitting the buy products button is an entirely different story altogether. Right as he was about to press the buy button, the ship flew over and freaked him out. He's like, should I buy? Should I investigate? Should I run to my ship? Sword pulls out his rifle. He might have to literally defend himself from ground forces or from the sky above. At that moment, Star Citizen already had my money. It was as good as spent. There is something to be said about seamlessly moving from one part of this game to another. There are no load screens. You can fly anywhere, land anywhere, and you will never experience a single load screen. Now, crashing, on the other hand, well, you might experience that, so I suppose that's a load screen in a way. I plan to explain the good, the bad, and the ugly to you, Prospect, before you buy the game. This isn't going to be one of those one-sided reviews exclaiming just how amazing or just how horrible Star Citizen is, and only focus, holy shit, that's a long sentence, on those points. As much as I love and sometimes hate Star Citizen, I plan on trying to make this review as unbiased as I possibly can for one side or the other. Although I purchased Star Citizen back in July, I have only really played the game for about 3 months. So this review of Star Citizen comes from a new player's perspective. Let's first explain the good. What Star Citizen gets right about this game? It doesn't matter if you're a new player or a longtime veteran of Star Citizen. The big thing RSI gets right are the visuals. This game can only be characterized as extreme eye candy, set in space, of course. There are breathtaking cityscapes, eye-melting ship designs inside and out, memorable planet and moonscapes, and I'm not even joking here. That looks amazing, am I right? But can it even run on my computer? Here are the minimum specifications that can run Star Citizen. The biggest thing you want is to install this game on an SSD, as well as have a decent video card, but more importantly, a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM. But never fear, Prospect. I can also give you a few tips that will help Star Citizen run much more smoothly on your PC if you do decide to buy the game. The first thing you want to do after you open up your RSI launcher and Star Citizen loads is to press Ctrl-Delete, then click on the Details tab. Scroll down until you find your starcitizen.exe, which should currently be running. Right-click that and set the priority to high. Second, create a page file on your SSD that is at least 1.5 times the amount of RAM you currently have on your computer. This is virtual RAM that will solve a lot of crashing and loading errors within Star Citizen. And last but not least, set your power supply to high performance. These 3 simple changes will greatly help you experience all the eye candy with a minimum of crashes and load time errors that plague this ambitious project. The other thing that Star Citizen gets right is the multiplayer experience. This game is fun solo, although you can't really count on that all the time because sometimes you get thrust into multiplayer experiences. Can reach heights that are almost indescribable when played with other players. Some of my most memorable moments playing Star Citizen have been with friends or randoms. Even during my height of space greed, where I was making tons and tons of space cheddar, pale in comparison to the moments created by and experienced with other players. Buying the most glorious ship in the game, which is arguably the most beautiful pixel I have ever walked inside or flown, pale in comparison to my first night out in the Hammerhead with the guys. That moment I tried to film the ultimate Quantanium mining guide, where I found this amazing patch and mooched it all up. I mean, I was so excited that this was going to be the best mining video of all times. Yep, you guessed it, I got pad rammed by another player while I was trying to land at Port Ulster. Lost everything. Yep, I was butthurt. That fear of what might possibly, maybe happen in your future is what makes the Star Citizen experience truly great for a multiplayer space simulator game. Shared moments in battle, the wins, the losses, the amassing of fake virtual cash to buy ships and weapons all have meaning to you as a space explorer in Star Citizen. Splashed across the backdrop of some far-off piece of space in a system created to take your breath away. You know, as long as your computer can run it, that is. Now let's talk about the ships within Star Citizen. The majority of them give you the feeling of realism, from performance and flight capabilities or function. These ships feel real. I actually feel like I'm piloting something designed and constructed to fly through an atmosphere of some far-flung planet into the blackness of space. I can trust as long as I don't get blown up by some space bad guys, my ship will get me to where I want to go in style. Just don't forget to have enough quantum fuel before departing on long journeys, or you might be swimming home. I'm not going to split hairs with you on this. If you have a highly addictive personality, consider what this game can do to your bank account. Especially when it comes to ships purchased with real money. These virtual ships are yours forever, some with lifetime insurance. I'm not going to go so far as to say this game is predatory on how it generates its revenue via ship purchases. Just understand, if you are into impulsive purchases, be careful if you get sucked into Star Citizen. Some of these ships or ship packages cost as much as brand new cars purchased with real world money. When I bought my first ship package to start playing Star Citizen, I chose to pay more for the Cutlass Black so I could have a stronger start to my gaming experience. Instead of going for the $45 is this game for me option, I jumped head first and kind of bypassed the starter ships and went for something better. I do not support or endorse that product and service as a choice you should make. I would recommend you, as a prospect to Star Citizen, either buy one of the $45 packages to see if this game is for you, or forget everything I said and go for the Avenger Titan for 65 bones. It's a great all-around starter ship that can do pretty much everything in the very beginning of Star Citizen. Then and only then, if you can afford it, upgrade your starter ship to something better later down the line if you enjoy the game. The underlying theme to this game is minimizing your risks in a multiplayer experience. It's how I amassed a huge fortune in Star Citizen, starting out as a little peon recruit to a proud owner of a luxury 890 jump, which I guess grants me the title of Space Pimp now. The ships in this game are basically works of art that almost seem and feel to be sculpted down to the smallest detail. I understand exactly how RSI has generated hundreds of millions from ship sales alone. Speaking of ships, if you do decide to someday take the leap and purchase Star Citizen, be sure to use my referral code, which will grant you an extra 5,000 in-game space bucks to have an even stronger start to your gaming experience. Then possibly, maybe someday, you might help me earn the Aegis Javelin, the capital ship that costs like 3,000 bones. Yeah, every spaceman has his dream, but let's get back to it. Ship-to-ship combat is pretty amazing, especially when you have a full crew of friends manning your guns. Combat in Star Citizen can happen in space, on the ground, and in the air. If you are outside a safe zone, you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times. This added anxiety of what might happen adds so much to the game itself. My wife bought this game from a purely eye candy standpoint. She doesn't give a space crap about combat or grinding for imaginary space money. She got this game for the visuals, as well as the ability to hang out in New Babbage nightclub, having a drink served by virtual bartenders, or walking around and flying her Constellation Andromeda 600i that all my space bucks purchased for her. This game gives her the opportunity to play by her rules or how she wants to play it. It was probably the only reason why she decided to purchase this game. Star Citizen was her first really. I tried to play No Man's Sky a few times with her, and she was like, nope. Believe me, I have tried to get her to play many other space games with me, but this one she enjoys to play. Right up until that moment when the game takes a big gigantic space crap on her and she crashes to desktop. Then she doesn't enjoy it so much. To put this into perspective, she doesn't even own an SSD. She has this daggone game installed on a hard drive, and as you can imagine, she crashes a bit more often than other people do. That's how much she enjoys playing Star Citizen. She's willing to put up with the added crap to play this game. With that, now let's talk about the bad. What Star Citizen, in my opinion, doesn't do well. Most of that has to do with the game being in the alpha state. Let's face it though, if you're going to fork out a sizable amount of money, anything over $45, you expect a certain standard of performance. Without doing the 3 methods I listed earlier, you can expect a 30K crash to desktop more often. Usually in the worst possible moment, it always seems to happen then. This results in a loss of cargo or mined ore if you happen to be carrying any on your ship when you crash. You can also expect parts of the map to load in more slowly. Remember when I said there's no load screens in Star Citizen? Well, certain assets can take longer to render in, like buildings or even floors. This causes all kinds of havoc or game-breaking instances in the moment, where only the slow passing of time itself resolves the issue. Bugs where you can't summon your ship or navigate your chosen destination via the waymap in your mobiGlass. No matter how perfectly you land, you never seem to be able to use the station's refueling or repairing services. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt. Falling through the floor or equipping your helmet only to find out it didn't load yet, so when you run out into space to get to your ship, you get yourself space dead. Oh, this is a good one here. Calling for a landing somewhere that has a hangar, and in the middle of landing, the hangar doors close on your ship, almost cutting it in half. Oh yeah, that's real fun there. Or how about when you get there, the hangar door isn't even open, so you have to recall for a landing once again. Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Or how about plotting a course back to your cell location with a full load of rich ore or expensive cargo, only for the game to fly you directly through the moon or planet, only to blow up on the other side when you hit the surface. Then there is the UI on some ships that blend into the bright backgrounds of some moons, making it darn near impossible to plot a course to the surface. You smash the engage button on your quantum drive to suddenly be ejected into space, either floating alone or by your friends. You're now stranded in space. Some FPS combat with NPCs can be disappointing to say the least. If the server is slightly laggy, well, the bad guys turn into stationary targets you can't miss. In some cases, they don't even try to shoot you back. Now you can take this part with a grain of salt, but I am the type that likes to have a plan in most things. I'm also the guy who likes to just do the things the words would tell me stuff about if I only took the time to read them. If I didn't have the group of experienced guys to hang out with me on my first night of playing Star Citizen, I can say without a shadow of a doubt I would have not had the near perfect, glorious first time experience I had. I spent most of my time running around going, wow, and asking all kinds of questions that are vital to your gameplay experience. Things the game doesn't go out of its way to show or tell a new player. I kind of felt tossed to the wolves with a good luck, we hope you don't die pat on the back as I boarded my ship to fly it for the very first time. I bombarded these guys with every question imaginable. Everything from how do I get out of this darn room to how do I run faster, how do I eat and drink. The big ones like how do I fly and not get destroyed, then land without blowing myself up. These guys were there for me that night and made sure my first night was amazing. Even though we crashed a few times when the server died, the glory we took that night in the Hammerhead will go down in history. At least for us anyway. The main thing I want to point out about the bad mostly all revolve around the performance or stability of the game itself. Although I have been ganked before and lost it all and felt the frustrations of that what if actually coming true, that doesn't make me hate Star Citizen itself. The main frustration for me as a new player is the standard and frequency of random game-breaking bugs that either happens to me or my friends when we are all trying to play together. Sometimes it is just a mission for everyone to get together so we can finally do a mission, when the original mission is just to get assembled together before someone crashes from the game or the server takes a dump. Now I must say I have played Star Citizen starting in 3.9 till now to 3.11. In that time I have seen great improvements in server stability as well as those random crashes becoming more infrequent. My wife would also be happier if the bartenders worked more often than they didn't, but hey, it's what happens when the scope of a project outpaces the ability to get everything pieced together in a timely manner. As a new player, this is where most of my gripe is with Star Citizen. It's the sheer scope of the game combined with the need to keep pumping out ship after ship in order to keep the money flowing into the company. This endless cycle of development will hopefully see some extreme progress when iCache and server meshing become a thing in our near future. Until then, crashing and server instability will still be a thing plaguing every pilot of the verse from time to time. When and if you sign up for Star Citizen, you need to understand that at some point the game is going to crash on you. Eventually, you are going to experience some kind of glitch where your only hope might be to reset your character. Never fear, you won't lose any of your ships or money if you have to do that. But if you can get past that and understand that this is likely going to happen to you from time to time, then Star Citizen can be a very exciting game to play when it actually runs. Understand that I am very much against cutting them some slack. It's an alpha bullshit excuse. To me, that's the scope or vision overtaking the ability to make it all happen before handing it to the public, while basically charging them for it. Should you buy Star Citizen? Is it a fun game to play that is worth the money? Well, that totally depends. Is it worth the $45 chance if you enjoy space games? I say it is definitely worth the chance to see if Star Citizen is right for you. I paid 115 bones for my starter package. I have never purchased any other ships with real-world money. I feel that the fun I had was well worth the money I spent. Did I experience game-breaking bugs? Yep, multiple times, and so did my friends. Some of them cost me millions of space bucks in a matter of less than an hour of gameplay, all due to game crashes, getting left behind floating in space, or randomly blowing up for no reason at all. In my opinion, the only saving grace for Star Citizen, besides its eye candy and epic multiplayer gameplay moments, well, you know, the ships too, is that development of the game is finally catching up to the scope of its vision for the future. I have seen many improvements over my short time playing from 3.9. I was here for 3.10 when they finally nailed down persistence for ships purchased with in-game money. To think that I know people who played Star Citizen before you could even fly in a ship, if you can even call that playing, that is. To where they could only sit inside of the cockpit of their ship in some hangar somewhere, to what Star Citizen is currently. I say take the leap. Get a cheap ship package and join the verse. Make a name for yourself while you learn how to play before the game gets next level with the Pyro patch. When Pyro lands, we will have the addition of a second system, which I'm sure will take gameplay experience of Star Citizen to the next level. Now is the perfect time to go from prospect to recruit. I'll see you in the verse. Just don't forget to use my referral code for an extra 5,000 in-game space bucks, and be sure to check out my best start and Star Citizen guide for the strongest start possible. Oh, and here's my ugly mug without a helmet on. I would try to explain it, but really, it is what it is.